Secret of the Mimics trailer revealed a lot of information and tons to theorize about. After rewatching the trailer over and over again, I found tons of interesting details that some of you might have missed the first time watching. And before we start, I would like to say thank you to you guys for all the support on the first video. Reaching over 100 views for the first video is crazy and I never expected that. So once again, thank you. Anyway, let's get into this trailer. The trailer opens up with a shot of a van parking up outside of the location, which we now know is called Murray's Costume Manor. We actually get to see what this place looks like in Help Wanted 2, where once we wind up a smaller version of Jackie's box, we get given a puzzle. Solving the puzzle gives us this. A proper good look at the outside of Murray's Costume Manor. However, this puzzle shows us more than just the outside. By taking off the vanny mask, the puzzle changes, showing us the van from the trailer. We even get a better look at them, fully 3D modelled. But that's when I noticed it. This is not the same van we see in the trailer. Sure, they are similar models, but there is a major difference between these two vans. This van has a white stripe. This one does not. I even matched up where the white stripe is on the puzzle to the one on the van, and it proved my point. There is no white stripe on this van. So this begs the question, whose van is this? Is it a new character? Is it Vanessa? It has the MXES in the back, so is it whoever created MXES? Is it Henry's? What if the van is William's? The colour in the surrounding area is purple. What if it's not? What if it's Edwin? What if it's the vehicle that struck and killed David? What if the van is the Mimic, and the one we see here is the Mimic mimicking the van from the trailer? Or they probably changed the model. Anyway, this next shot shows off a bunch of stuff, such as a dog with a hat, a cutout of a dog that we see a costume of later, a bumblebee shown off in PAX West. We see a costume hung up on a stand that looks like it's designed to move it around. Maybe it's an animatronic and the stand is used to make it move. As we walk in further, we see a bird character and what looks like a seal, drum kits, a lion, a sheep eating popcorn, a balloon dog, frog sat on the floor, and creepiest of all, a jester character, which personally I want nothing to do with because he is freaking creepy. But this shot tells us more than just new characters. Take a listen to what Hand Unit says.
One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse.
This not only confirms the canonicity of Edwin Murray, but that Edwin is a contractor, meaning that most of the stuff we see throughout the place isn't property of Fazbear Entertainment. It in fact belongs to other companies, possibly competitors of the Fazbear Entertainment brand. The next shot shows us powering up a generator that opens a door to a security office. I actually believe that we see this office later on. Notice where the generator is and the windows, as well as the keypad. Something to point out is the symbol on the keypad. We see this symbol later on the data diver. I believe that the security officers will have upgrades for our data diver, allowing us to explore more of the factory, and the symbol on the keypad shows us what upgrade we are going to unlock in that office. Going inside the office, there is a lot to take in. First thing I noticed is that there was a pizza box on the sofa. Try as I might, but unfortunately I cannot make out what is on the box. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is a Fredbear's Family Diner pizza box. During the PAX West demo, people have publicly said that there were Fredbear Family Diner pizza boxes throughout the location. I believe this is one of them. The next thing I noticed was that there is a poster that was also shown off in PAX West, as well as a fan, because, of course. We can also see a plushie of a red variant of the mushroom costume that I would love for this to become real merch. We can also get a better look at the computer that we use the data diver on. Next to the computer we can see another, much larger computer with another symbol next to it. The purpose of this I have no idea, but from what I can make out, the much larger portion of the computer looks like it has a small door rolled up. Maybe this could be where we collect our data diver. The next reveal is a big one, showing us some of the many mascot costumes that we will see in this game. We see a dog that we saw earlier, an elephant that looks much different from the one that we saw at the end of Ruin, and what to me looks like a seal. We actually saw this costume hung up next to the cutout of the dog. There are also 2 more costumes hidden in this clip. Both can be seen in between the elephant and the seal. Now, from what I can make out, one of them looks like another seal, judging by how their muzzles are similarly shaped, and the other one I can't make out, but it looks like it has a circular nose from what I can see, a bit like a reindeer. Then we get a good look at Tiger Rock, and oh man does this look cool. It's the same model we saw in Help Wanted, but this version seems to be an actual costume the Mimic will wear, which is terrifying. We do get a better look at the costume in a hidden frame towards the end of the trailer. This next shot is so cool. It shows us walking around the factory when we get but a glimpse of Jackie. And oh boy, she is yeah, she's terrifying. And massive too. I mean, look at the size of her. Jeez. So Jackie's pretty cool. So after that, we get a good look at this elephant character, and oh, for God's sake, Steelwool? What were you thinking? This dude's scary as Nah, but all joking aside, this is my favourite shot in the trailer. It really captures the original feel of the games, and I love it. This clip also shows us the Fredbear Family Diner posters we could collect in Security Breach, as well as a poster for the new dog character. Now let's talk about this elephant for a second. Its outfit is an exact match to the costume we see in Ruin, but something stood out to me. Its face. It's too different to the one in Ruin. Obviously in the base game of Ruin, we aren't meant to get a good look at the costumes. I believe that the costumes in Ruin were just temporary models before we actually get a good look at them in the game. We get another good look at Jackie as she climbs out of the vent right in front of us. A detail that immediately stood out was the eyes. She has those orange eyes, not the eyes she normally has. Either she is now being controlled by the Mimic, or there is something else that's happening that we don't yet know. Jackie has 3 separate eyes that we have seen, those being her normal ones, the orange dots, and the coils. In the clips we see her in, she has the orange dots. So the question is she currently taken over by the Mimic? Well, I believe that the orange dots mean that she has been hacked by the Mimic, and the coils mean that the Mimic is actually wearing her as a costume. Then we get a look at the new mushroom character, which has actually been taken from the Tales from the Peterplex books, where the Mimic wears it as a costume, and it looks like it's happening here too. A detail that I really like are the eyes. They look exactly like coil burners. I got curious and decided to research how coil burners work, and if there was any lore relevancy there. And in fact, there is. The way coil burners heat up is through electromagnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields are also known to cause electronics to operate poorly or to completely stop working. During the Mimic epilogues in the Tales from the Peterplex books, the Mimic is known to shut down all electronics when in close proximity, meaning that we now have an idea of how the Mimic stops electronics from functioning. Then we get to see a unique new puzzle which appears to be made up of pipes with a type of yellow gas or liquid. It looks like we will have to use the pipes to create a path from one side to another in order to progress. Also in this room we can see another elephant costume, this one wearing a stripy outfit. Taking a closer look at the elephant costume, it appears that there is an arm sticking out of the costume. The glove we can see looks very similar to the protagonist's. Could this possibly be another person who was sent here to try to collect the Mimic, but failed? We can also see a first aid box with a symbol on it that will be important later. We then get a good look at the Shredder bot and the protagonist using Jackie's music box crank as a way to open a gate. It looks like the crank will be used as a tool by the protagonist to open up gates around the factory. Taking a closer look at Shredder bot, we can see a tear on his shirt, caused by what? We don't know. There is also a gift box on the table next to Shredder bot. I believe that this is one of many collectibles we can find around the factory, kind of like Security Breach. This next shot shows us the walking animation of the mushroom character. Bro looks jolly. Something that caught my eye, however, is the cutout behind him of what looks like to me a monkey character wearing a spacesuit with text saying push and a red button. My guess is that there will be cutouts of characters around the factory that we can use as distractions to lure threats away. Then we got, oh my god, we are on the roof of the factory. Now there isn't really much to see here, it is just a roof. One detail I did notice, however, was that it is snowing. Now, we have seen snow before. In Help Wanted 1, there is a small hidden teaser showing the Pizzaplex being built. And what do you know? It's snowing. I believe that there is a slight chance that the Mega Pizzaplex is built not only over the FNAF 6 location, but also Murray's Costume Manor. This shot just gives us another look at Tiger Rock, nothing else much to see here. Then we see the protagonist using the data diver to activate a welcome show. We can even see the stage with the supposed show that we are trying to turn on. We even get a good look at the older version of Helpy called Helper. Something I noticed is that the name Helper is an acronym, a bit like the staff bots in Security Breach. Then we get a reveal of a new character, which by looking at her name tag, we can see her name is Dolly. Now if we take a look at Dolly's hat and dress, we can see a familiar symbol. That being the symbol on the first aid kit. But this symbol also shows up in another game, that being in the Helpy levels in Help Wanted 2. But that's not all. By turning on subtitles in the minigame, we can see that the female voice talking to us is named Carnival Nurse. So could this mean that this
Next scenario. The patient is suffering from entertainment-related trauma.
is Dolly? I believe that it is, because there are too many links between them. This shot is packed full of things to pick apart. First thing that's obvious is the wind-up toy mouse that we see the protagonist throwing. The mouse is probably a distraction. The mouse will land on the floor and create lots of noise to lure threats. We can also see a pig, some birds, an elephant costume in the background, and a cutout of an alligator, as well as the security office we saw earlier. The alligator, however, raises a question. Is this an earlier design of Monty, or is this a new alligator altogether? Then we get to see a part of a Jackie chase scene. And this chase scene looks freaking intense, man, holy! The way Jackie knocks into a pipe and cracks it, and her looking back to see where you are before climbing ahead to get the jump on you. She isn't just an animatronic, there is a high level of intelligence behind those eyes. The final shot of the trailer is most definitely the biggest reveal, an older model of DJ Music Man. A detail I noticed is that if you look at his stomach, you can see an extra 4 limbs and what appears to be a small stage. Another awesome detail is in his mouth. The thing we see in his mouth is an old music box, and its teeth appear to be hitting the bumps to make a tune, which means that we will probably hear a tune when he's approaching. Now during the title reveal, as it glitches out, we see a hidden frame of Tiger Rock. Brightening the image shows us that there is also an arm with a glove similar to the protagonist. So does that arm belong to another person who tried to collect the mimic for Fazbear Entertainment? Or is that us, the player, who got so far yet couldn't outwit the mimic? But that's it. That is all I was able to see and break down in the trailer. I really hope you enjoyed my trailer breakdown, and let me know if there was anything I missed. And once again, I want to give a massive thank you for all the support on the first video. As I'm recording this clip, the video is close to 300 views, which is just crazy. So thank you guys so much again, and I will see you next time.